All righty. Everybody, we want to welcome y'all back to another episode of Off the Beaten Path. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Cush. I'm one of the co-hosts of this amazing podcast. For those of you who don't know, my best friend and my business partner is Breezy Henson. He's the little ginger gnome there making beats on this podcast. And tonight we have an amazing guest, to say the least. I know I've said that a few times, but it's just like it's a compound effect with all the amazing ladies that we're featuring. And tonight is no different. We have the amazing and talented Lanny Oakley. Lanny, I want you to introduce yourself because every episode we've been doing a little bit of like introduction, but it's just progressively getting better and better. So I want you to tell the world who may not know of you a little bit about yourself, and yeah, just do a small intro, please.
Yeah, absolutely. And since we chatted about it before we got started, I'm going to say that probably the most important thing about me, and that's the fact that I'm a twin. Um,
Yeah.
I'm a twin, a three-time Olympian, world champion in multiple shooting disciplines, and I just really like to have fun and pass on all my knowledge to other people.
Amen. That's awesome because Rob and I, we firmly believe in passing on info versus gatekeeping. So I obviously want to start with what I find probably the most admirable thing about you is that, for me, is that you're a twin. Because for I don't think I've said this on this season or last season, I also am an identical twin brother. And so for me it was very normal. I typically don't tell people, hey, I have a duplicate walking out in the world. So we constantly get confused. Like, people walk up to me and they're like, which one are you? And I'm like, oh no. But so talk to me about that. Were you and your sister very competitive when you guys were young?
Absolutely, yeah. And I think being a twin was probably the best thing that happened to me. Um, we were best friends and biggest competitors, so we were able to push each other every single day. And I'm sure you experienced similar things where your teachers wanted to split you up.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
yeah, but we fought that hard, and we said, we have a unique opportunity to work together to achieve great things. And they just didn't see it that way. They wanted us to be individuals and find our own path.
Yeah. Now, were you all the twins that dressed the same as well, or no?
Yes. We were so identical. Like a lot of times our parents couldn't tell us apart. And
Same.
my
Wow.
mom, she made a lot of our clothes. So not only did my twin sister and I look alike, but our older sister, who was only 14 months older, she a lot of people thought we were triplets.
That is awesome. Wow, that is beautiful.
Did
That
you
is
sneak in your mom made your clothes?
She did, yeah. She was Wonder Woman when it came to
Wow.
being mom. She had three in diapers, and she made her clothes. She was just an incredible mom. She did a lot of cool things.
That's amazing. Where did
so
y'all grow up at?
yeah.
Yeah, we grew up in Durango, Colorado. A little
Wow.
biased, but really cool place to grow up.
Yeah.
That sounds
No,
like a cool place. That's one of
yeah.
the places in the country I've never. My cousins live out there, and they're always trying to. Not for long, so I'll end up there eventually. But they say it's amazing. Like they wouldn't want to live anywhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Come visit sometime.
Okay.
Doesn't it
Yeah.
get bitter cold up there though?
It gets a little cold, but it's been voted best winter ski resort in the nation like every single year, because you can
Yeah.
more or less wear a t-shirt every year or every day during the winter. It's amazing.
Wow.
Really.
Please, it sounds like we got a destination to hit.
Yeah, I know because I think we're third or fourth on the skiing list.
Yeah.
Dude, hey, water skiing. What? So, because I've heard the name. What are you like? What's the biggest city that's close to you?
Well, Durango's kind of the hub of this area, but
Okay.
Albuquerque, New Mexico, is the closest at three and a
Okay.
half hours. Denver's
Real.
6 to 8 hours time of
Wow.
year.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay. That's awesome. So, wow. I know you have a lot of. I really. There's a question in my mind that I always think about when we talk to high level competitors is like, when did you realize like this is going to be a serious thing I'm going to do?
Yeah.
From when you were kids, you know, like I know you said you were competitive with your sister. I love that you, but when was it that you're like, wow, this isn't just us being kids and thinking this is cool. We're really good at this.
Well, I think you know, we kind of realized early on when we started playing sports that that we had a pretty good work ethic and, you know, good discipline. Our parents could hardly pull us. Our main sport growing up was soccer. We were
Wow.
soccer nerds. But our parents couldn't pry us off the field. And even when we weren't on the field, we were constantly juggling all the time. So, you know, shooters dry fire all the time. We were juggling soccer balls all the time and just getting really good footwork and stuff like that. You know, it was just a passion, and we whatever we were doing at the time, we just put everything into it. And you know, we had really great role models. Our parents, they worked hard at everything they did. So I think that kind of taught us early on that, you know, if you want to be successful, you just have to work hard for it and earn it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's like that.
Were
That
they
is
outdoorsy? Is that how you were exposed to hunting and fit, you know, being outdoors and firearms?
Yeah, absolutely. So my dad
Okay.
had three girls, and he shooting and hunting was his biggest passion. I'd say hunting was his biggest passion. And so he taught the three of us how to hunt and fish and shoot, and we just fell in love with it.
that's
That's
awesome.
amazing. Yeah, I love that.
So another thing that's cool is like my brother and I, you and your sister don't have names that start with the same letter. You're Lanny and she's Tracy, right?
Correct. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's
And
cool.
the kind of a funny story behind that too, because my mom, when she had us, she didn't know she was having twins until I came out, and I was the first one out. Yeah.
Wow.
So she didn't get an ultrasound because she wanted to be surprised, and the doctor's like, "You're having
She was
a big boy," because they could only detect one heartbeat. My twin sister and I were in sync, and our heartbeat was the same. And so when I came out, you know, it was a big shocker because instead of a big boy, they got two little girls.
Wow.
That's
And as
unreal.
far as the name thing, they didn't have any names picked out because they didn't think they were having twins. So
Right.
yeah,
Doctor was like, surprise.
Yeah. Here's a surprise
pretty much.
for
Yeah.
you.
Wow.
Get more nurses. There's another one in there.
That's an incredible story. So I know you said with the soccer, how old were y'all when you were like getting into all that? I guess really how old were y'all when you really started taking it serious and starting to go from, I know you said you trained discipline. I love to hear that because we hear that a lot, just that you have to train, you have to have discipline when it comes to this to keep moving
Yeah.
up. Like when was it that you really felt like y'all locked in and started taking those steps?
Yeah, I would say probably in middle school, and maybe even before that. The first time we saw the Olympics was we saw it on TV, and you know, Tracy and I were like, we're going. And yeah, we thought we were going to go for soccer, and then later on it ended up being for a different sport. But you know, we thought that's got to be the coolest thing in the world, to be able to represent your country and go to the Olympics.
Yeah,
That's
no,
awesome.
get a couple dings for that.
Yeah,
Anything.
like
Yeah.
that's really cool. And now you are a three-time champion, right?
Three-time Olympian, yeah. And the only reason why I got the opportunity to go to a third Olympics is because of my twin sister. She actually gave me her spot at that third Olympics because I got sick at the final trials and wasn't able to compete. And so she competed, did really well at the trials, and won the trials. And then when they announced the team, she turned around and gave her spot up and gave it to me. So.
That's amazing.
That is publicly. This wasn't like a switcheroo, right? You showed up and every.
No. It actually garnered international attention when she did it. She obviously, that's not
Really?
what she was looking for. She just wanted to give me the opportunity.
Yep.
She had 4 years previously. She just barely missed making the team based off of weather. They canceled the race, and so she knew what it felt like, and she wanted the U.S. to have the best team. And obviously, I protested when she told me that she wanted me to do that. But at the end of the day, that's what she wanted. So.
And what Olympics was that? What year was that?
That was in 2014 in Sochi,
14.
Russia.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
How was that?
Yo, I watched that.
Yeah, I know, right? That's why.
Yeah,
We're over here nerding out. Wait, what? I was watching that.
yeah. So Russia was crazy. They don't like us over there. But for the first time, that was probably the best experience that I've ever had in Russia. The other ones were not so nice. But they found every happy Russian in Russia, and they brought them there as volunteers. It was crazy.
That's amazing. Because
Yeah.
y'all are staying in the same place, right? Like the village.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
Athlete.
Well,
Okay.
remember there was news about the village, about the
Yeah,
living
that's
quarters. It wasn't like
Yeah, that's
ideal. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
every Olympics they barely struggle to get finished, and there's always something funny. And at the Russia at those Olympics, they had two toilets side by side with no wall or partition between them, and it's like, okay,
They're like it's team bonding.
yeah. So,
Yeah,
That's
great.
awesome.
Yeah,
So
what an experience.
so real quick before we get ahead of ourselves, Breeze,
I
what
think
do you have over there? What do you got picked out for tonight?
Let's see what we got here. Let me get on the tools of the trade here and see what we got. We'll see what oh man, I should be prepared for this. We've done this before. Let's see.
Yeah. It's kind of like,
Okay,
where's the Jeopardy music?
No, not that one. That was good though. That was great timing because it is an O. Here we go. Oh wait, why is it not playing my whole sample here? Come on now.
Oh, but that's one of the chops.
Here we go.
Yeah. I'm excited to see what you do with that.
That's spoiler alert. That's kind of the part you'll see.
Yeah. So Lanny, we are hip hop heads. We used to own a recording studio. We're not Olympians by a long shot, but Rob here, Breezy, he makes some pretty amazing beats, pretty quick, and the speed in which he does it. Like by the time we wrap this thing up, so like in the next 45 minutes, he'll have the framework of a beat, and so it's pretty cool to see.
yeah.
But yeah, so like I guess I guess just like moving on. I want to hear some of the stories of like what was it like when you had to compete for your first Olympic. I guess your Olympic debut was. I know the training is super intense, but can you walk us through some of that experience?
Yeah, absolutely. I think anytime you go to a sporting event that big, especially the Olympics, I think the Olympics is the highest level in sport that you can do, and you can argue that even more so than the Super Bowl, because it only comes around once every 4 years. So once every 4 years, on usually a particular day, you have to perform at your best. And there's so many things that could go into that, and so it makes the Olympics truly special. And so obviously there's a lot of pressure and things like that go into it. But going to my first Olympics, my eyes were like this big, super excited about representing my country, and the stadiums over there that they have with people, there's 30 to 50,000 spectators, so it's really exciting. You know, when you're
That's
shooting, you
awesome.
hardly hear yourself breathe, and um, you know, it's just the greatest experience in the world. Not only competing, but I think opening ceremonies was my favorite because you get to pull on the USA jersey and then go in behind your flag with the entire stadium erupting into cheers of USA. Really cool.
That's amazing. I can't even imagine what that must sound like because just the run out, it's that's patriotism at a really high level, you know, from a performance standpoint. Like you said, you I'm sure qualifying you have to be there, like you said, just that one day. But then when you actually get to the games and the competitive part of it, do you feel the tension or the pressure to perform, or is it by that time have you done it so much now it's a thing of repetition and just making sure that you're on?
You know, I would say a little bit of both. I mean, regardless of how many times you've done it and the repetitions and things like that, you still know in the back of your mind that this is your potentially only opportunity to compete and perform. And so it does, you know, you have to push that pressure out and you know, try not to think about it, but it definitely at the Olympic level, there's so many more things that go into it, from media to, you know, just spectators and all that kind of thing. So it makes it truly special.
Do you go on a press run?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
you're that's kind of part of your job. You have to go and talk to the press. I remember after this. This is kind of funny, but not funny. After my first Olympic race, I just finished. I was exhausted. You know, I could hardly breathe because I was breathing so hard. And the first question I get asked is what I thought of the shooting accident with Cheney.
Yeah.
And you know, I had no idea because it happened when I was racing, and I had no idea what they're talking about. And so that was a very challenging question to answer on the fly when I really didn't know what the context was.
Man, I can't even imagine that. And then you see the news, I imagine, and you're like, oh man, that was a terrible accident. Now,
Yeah.
I know you get highlighted a lot for your athleticism, and we're gonna dive into that some more. But the other side of you that I'm not sure if I'm sure people are aware of it, but I've fallen in love with it just from doing some digging. Is you're actually an artist, right?
I am. Yeah, I love to do artwork. It's one of the few things that can actually get me into it and focus on something.
Really? That's
Yeah.
cool. Have you been drawing or being artistic your entire life, or was it a passion you found later on?
No, I started out really young, probably about the same time that my twin sister and I jumped into sports, and I started drawing horses because I loved horses,
Yeah.
and my dad wasn't into horses, so I knew I was never going to get one. So the closest thing was drawing them. So I drew a lot of horses growing up, and that I think helped me develop into an artist.
Do you have any cool stories surrounding your art that that are independent of either the Olympics or hand in hand with it?
Well, actually, my artwork helped fund my Olympic career, both for my twin sister and I. I would do artwork when we weren't training, and then we'd go sell it on the streets, and it would pay for our food and our travel and things like that.
Wow, like in other countries?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Wow. Oh my god. I wish my potato head best friend was listening to this. Let me see if I can get his attention. He's deep in the rabbit hole. That is amazing. So how many pieces would you say you've sold at any Olympic competition?
Uh, I mean, at a particular competition, maybe 6 to 8, but over the course of my career, you know, probably hundreds, I don't know, maybe thousands.
Wow.
I just, because we our career kind of happened when cell phones were just barely starting to come in, especially over in Europe, and
Yep.
that TV was horrible. It was usually really really old American or British TV, kind of dubbed over in German or French or Italian or something. It was awful. So we didn't watch a lot of TV or do anything like that when we weren't racing. So I just did a lot of drawing and reading and things like that. And so yeah, it gave me time to be able to spit out a bunch of artwork, and we just go to, there's a lot of street vendors and things like that in Europe, and we just go down there and set up shop and
That
sell
is
my artwork.
ridiculously impressive, because like you're talented on the field, but also your brain can switch over and be super artistic. That is amazing. What would you say is does do you ever, now this is just my creative brain asking this here, do you ever see like your creativity seep over into your Olympian life? Like, I know cre- creatively, right, art is a form of expression, self-expression, could be whatever. Do you ever see that kind of overlap, or because as an athlete, I'm sure all these sports that you play or compete in, they have a special place in your heart. But do you ever look at it and think to yourself, man, this is like, because it takes patience to learn how to be a really good artist, right, to become one.
Yep. Yeah, I would say there's a lot of crossover. Art taught me a lot of patience and discipline and things like that. But I think one thing that helped is I have a photographic memory, so it helped both in my sports and in my art. And developing both of those, I think it definitely kind of helped different skills within those sports that I was doing.
You just blew my mind yet again. A photographic memory. I only know one other person who has a photographic memory. Like, oh my god, my brain is like oozing with a bunch of questions right now. Let's see. So, photographic memory. So, did you use that for like a competitive advantage when as you got older and started competing on a serious level? Like, okay, this person messed up here, or did you use that to your advantage?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, when you think of it in sports, it doesn't matter what it is, whether it's shooting or any sort of sport. Visualization is really important, and the more realistically you can visualize something, the easier it is going to be for your brain when you actually go do it.
Oh my
So when I would visualize the race course that I was doing and the targets that I was going to be hitting and things like that, I could make a very, very realistic visualization. And there's studies that say that really good visualizations are just as good as actually doing the training itself. It's muscle memory. You're creating muscle memory for yourself.
thus allowing you to be way more precise. Does Tracy have a photographic memory?
She does, yeah, yeah.
Oh my god. What? Automatically you guys are like significantly better than me and my brother.
Definitely not. No, we're just
I
we
don't
can.
remember what I did a couple days ago. No,
Yeah.
but that's really cool. So, I guess since you started with soccer, how did you get into shooting?
We we'd been hunting our entire life,
Oh,
and in middle school we started doing small bore prone competitions.
okay. Really?
And
Prone.
yeah, and when you make two really really physically active girls just lay there all day and shoot, um, they'll look at any excuse to not do it. So we ran into a guy that told us about biathlon, cross country skiing and shooting, what we did in the Olympics, and we're like, wow, that sounds like so much more fun. And it also was as close to you can get to hunting in the Olympics. because biathlon originated as a form of hunting on skis in Scandinavia, and then it became a military tactic in World War I and World War II, and then it became a sport in times of peace. So for us, that connection between hunting and the Olympics, we're like, you can't get better than that, So that's we kind of fell in love with it.
Is that first of all, I didn't even know that piece of history. I didn't realize that was like, what'd you say? Was it which country was using that as a technique?
In Scandinavia. So
Scandinavia.
they have snow a good portion of the year. So they would hunt on skis. And then in World War I and World War II, it became a military tactic. And especially like the US was able to win some really key battles with the 10th Mountain Division, skiing in and taking, and winning key battles in both World War I and II.
Wow, that's awesome. And so then it becomes a sport in times of peace, right? And then, well, fast forward, how many years would you say? I mean, I don't know if you know this part of the history of it, but how many years would you say it took for it to become something leisure and fun that Scandinavia was doing to where the Olympics were like, hey, we should incorporate this? Or do you know the history of that?
I should know the date. I know it was in. I should know this. It's been so long since I've thought about it, but I know 1980 was when women were allowed to start competing in biathlon. So it was, I think, the 50s or 60s when it started in the Olympics for men. And don't completely quote me on that.
Right? No, yeah. It's,
and back then it was 308, and then they gradually worked down to now they do 22.
Rob, can you hear me, bro?
I can hear you, brother.
You missed like some real nuggets.
Did I?
Yeah.
You should have.
She has a photographic memory, Rob.
He's working on Olympic level music.
I am. I do like one sequence. I'm trying to make this thing as close to complete as I can, but that's all right.
Oh, so what? You're almost done?
Getting close.
Whatever. Just let us know when you're done. So, oh my God, it's between you and the last guest we had, the last couple guests, my brain is like, Tess. Shout out to Tess. She connected us, but Tess, I was mind blown with some of the stuff she told us, and then she's like, "Oh, you need to interview Lanny. She's amazing." And I was like, "Okay." And then we did some digging, and I was like, "Oh, 2018 was an amazing year for you, huh?"
2018.
You did like a lot of like, I think that's the year you got your US, what is it? Your USPSA championship. You were killing a bunch of. Wait, no, let me rephrase that. You were essentially being first place in a lot. Yeah, crushing it. You were crushing it in shooting sports. How did you get into trick shooting?
That's a very good question. So a couple different reasons. So when my twin sister and I were competing in the Olympics, we were always looking for different ways of improving. You have to kind of think outside the box in order to become the best in the world. And we had reached the highest level in shooting in the world. Skiing, we weren't probably the best in the world, but as far as shooting in biathlon, we were some of the best shooting biathletes in the world. But we were trying to improve even more. So we found 3-gun, and that was like our cross training for biathlon. Wow. And then when we retired, we jumped into 3-gun, and I started trying to figure out ways of learning how to shoot on the move. And we had done a lot of unicycling for balance training when we were training for the Olympics. And I thought, okay, well, a unicycle, if you don't keep pedaling, you have to hop off. So it's a perfect way of forcing yourself to keep your feet moving while you're shooting. So I'll just shoot off a unicycle and it'll force me to keep my feet moving. And that's how I learned how to shoot on the move while, keeping my feet moving. Walking is off a unicycle. And you know and so and for me, I just love doing things like that, challenging myself. And people started loving watching the different tricks that I did. So I would save maybe a magazine or a couple rounds after my training, and then try to give myself a challenge. And it was a way of looking forward to the end of training.
Where's your sister for all of this? Is she like right there with you? Like y'all are both are going ham on trick shooting?
Yeah, yeah. She, after we retired from the Olympics, we competed in action shooting sports like 3-gun and stuff for a few years, and then she kind of retired because she had 2 beautiful little children. And then, but she'll do tricks with me every once in a while. So.
Really? So you're still like you're the active sister as far as it comes to like the shooting space and 3-gun and competition shooting?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of my trick shots are her idea. She's like, "Hey, go try this."
Yeah. Do you so for me and my twin brother, like we can very easily we're typically in our own world when we're together, right? And he and I look like 2 big gorillas. Anytime we walk into a room, it's just always all eyes on, irrespective of the fact that we are twins. We're just these really big dudes, and our stature. I mean, we are also on the heavy side of life, but I mean, just when we walk into a room, people are just like looking. But we're in our own world usually, and some people are like, "Who the heck are these guys?" Is it the same for you and your sister? Like when y'all are together and you're in a room, it's like, "What?"
Yeah, it's the exact same. I mean, we people always, they're like, "You guys are so weird because we don't communicate the same." I don't have to tell her what I'm thinking because she already knows. And so I may just say one word and she'll say one word, and people are like, "Well, what does that mean?" And we're like, "Well, well, she knows." So,
My
but yeah,
sister, my sister is driven crazy because me and my brother, she always says, "You have the left brain, he has the right brain. That's how you guys communicate." Because we can literally look at each other and have an entire conversation with just a gaze, and then we're like, "Oh, okay." Like Rob has seen it in person. We'll be talking in incomplete sentences, but we're having this full on conversation, and I'm so grateful that have you wait. I just thought about this. It just shot into my mind. Have you ever been, you and your sister been to, there's an annual Twins Club meeting in Twin Cities?
yeah. We have never been, but I've always wanted to go because they have a running race there, and
That's
I
awesome.
I really want to go and compete in that. So,
That's awesome.
have you guys done?
We've heard about it for years, literally since we were like boys, and
Yeah,
you guys should go. And my mom, of course, she's like, "Yeah, we should go." And it's like, when is it? But like the access to information wasn't what it is now, especially back in the '90s, right? When we
yeah.
were boys. And I say that to say no, we haven't been, but yeah, we would like to go because it's cool to see how many twins are in the world. And strangely enough, there was a lot of twins in the schools we went to. So I can imagine for like maybe the people who were in our age range who went to our schools were like, "Oh yeah, that's so and so, and that's so and so, and that's so and so," because I think there was like 6 set of twins at my high school alone. So
Wow.
yeah.
Something on it.
Huh?
I'm trying to see if like find information on it to see when it is.
The annual twin, it just
Yeah.
passed, I
Did
think.
it? Oh, okay.
Yeah, because my sister said, "When are you idiots gonna go?" And we're like, we had another incomplete thought in person.
Yeah.
So
So here, you grab your twin, I'll grab mine, and we'll go to that.
Did you
did
already talk about the telekinesis thing? Like, yo, my
no,
brother's like that. You guys know what's going the energy.
yeah, but I think that's a can you and your sister feel that like with one another if you know something's wrong? Or when we tell other twins that, some of them look at us most of them look at us crazy, but it's very rarely we can find twins that actually can experience that, right? So do you and your sister experience that?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. And it's like a blessing and a curse because, I'll be going along all happy and, going throughout my day. And then all of a sudden I'll just get this pit in my stomach, like something's wrong. And I'm like, what is the deal? And I'll call her up and I'm like, Tracy, what's wrong? And she'll be crying or something like,
Yeah.
something happened. Or, but they always say, someone will punch you in the arm and you're like, can your twin feel that? I'm like, well, no, but, one of when I realized how close our connection was, she was in Russia, and one year it was when this is probably back in 2001, and she got attacked by a Russian. He hit her over the head with a bottle, and I didn't know what happened, obviously, and I didn't feel it, but I knew immediately something was wrong because it was the middle of the night for us, and I woke up and I'm like, something's wrong. And then maybe an hour or two later, my parents got a phone call from Russia,
Oh my
saying
God.
got attacked by some crazy Russian.
Oh my God. Wow. Well, first of all, I'm glad she's safe and all right, obviously. But
Yeah.
I've never told this story on a public platform. My brother and I had something similar. Breeze, you remember this story? I got hit by a car when I was 13 years old, and my brother was at home with my sister, and he said that him and my sister were doing something, and he stopped and he looked at Pola's my sister. He goes, hey. She goes, what's up? He goes, something's wrong with Chris. She goes, nothing's wrong with him. He goes, no, something serious.
Yeah, like he got frantic about it. Like
Yeah. We gotta go find my brother. She's like, Andrew, relax. And he's like, no. He goes, I can feel it. Something happened. It's not okay.
Yeah.
And they were arguing, and like 2-3 minutes later, my mom calls my sister and says, Chris got hit by a car. He's being taken to a hospital. And he was like, I told you. It was, obviously, afterwards, right? Hindsight is 2020. My sister was like, how did you know? And she's asking questions like, I don't know how to explain it. I can feel it though. I can feel it. I can sense it. It's in my mind. It's in my gut. It's just that connection that you have, that thank God we have, because like I said before, I don't know a lot of twins that have that experience, but yeah, that's wild. How did you feel knowing she was in another country when it happened? Did you feel like I got to fly over there just to be by her side? Or
I did, yeah. I was pretty angry,
Yeah,
but I mean, they wouldn't let me fly over there. But I mean, she ended up being fine. She had a concussion or whatever. But yeah, I actually Tracy and I were on a podcast with Marcus Luttrell once, and he told the story about when he obviously the whole story when his unit got attacked or whatever. His twin brother kept, because they thought he was dead with all the other guys. He's like, no, he's still alive. We need to find him. So he had that connection too.
That's awesome. That's cool. Man, I would love to see how many twins like experience that phenomenon, because I don't believe scientifically it can be proven.
Right. Yeah. I don't know how they'd be able to measure that other than, obviously the stress levels.
Yeah. Right. And I think, I know this goes back to, I'm obviously in the womb together, you form that bond that not many people have. But I know, like, Cush and I have been together so much the past 12 years. I'll be like, are you thinking about going to get ice cream? And he's like, bro, I was. Let's go. So I think we're starting to form a little bit of that.
Yeah. Except, like we didn't. You're my ginger brother.
That's awesome.
All right.
Well, they do say that people have been together their whole lives, or couples or whatever. They do experience similar things. So
some people do think we're a couple.
I wasn't saying you guys were a couple.
No, it's funny because it's just
It is kind of funny
it's,
sometimes.
especially in our space, like the outdoor space, like they're super. Hey, brother, they look at us like, what are y'all doing here?
Yeah.
But no, we're not. I'm
No, it's
happily
cool.
married. He's happily married. So yeah,
Just to set the record straight, if we're keeping one,
yeah.
no pun intended. Set the record straight.
Ah,
Anyway,
what are you doing?
um, no, that's that. I think that's beautiful. I'm just thinking about your relationship. I love hearing both of y'all talk about it. I see his firsthand, and I love to see how different they are too. Right? Obviously, you guys aren't the same people. You look the same, but it's I would think some people like, do you guys do everything the same? And it's like, I see how different Cush and his brother are. So I'm
Yeah,
curious, like sometimes you'd be like, is that really my are we related? I know we look alike, but does she do something that you guys are opposites on?
There are definitely a few things, and it was interesting how our personalities have always been a little different. But there are very few, but there's things like she likes black licorice, but I don't.
Oh my gosh.
I think that's maybe the only thing that we don't like
Y-
taste wise that's different.
I'm with you on that though.
yeah, no, same. Yeah, we're
Yeah,
just gonna say
we're in
she's
the
an
same boat.
oddball on that.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
can't.
yeah, right.
Well, my brother loves chocolate and I love vanilla. So there's stuff like that that's like different
That's
between us,
cool.
but then there are very big differences that after a while you're around us and you're like, "Oh, okay, cool." Well, I had to hit the Googles because when I said 2018 you went on a hell of a run, I was like, I only know one of these, but here we go. I'm going to read these off. 2018 PCC champions, High Lady. 2018 USPSA multi-gun national champions. Late second place Lady Practical. 2018 Bays with Bullets 3-gun challenge. High Lady Open. All right, this is a lot to read. So I'm just gonna say you had like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 more, and you closed the year off with the 2018 Gun Nation Nationals first place Lady Practical and shoot off. Have yeah, yeah, seriously.
She's
Did
like,
first hats off, first of all.
yeah, oh there. Oh wait, oh, hats off.
Hats
There we
off.
go.
Hats off.
Come on.
That's amazing. What I really want to ask is did you and your sister compete neck and neck in those?
I wish. I'd only have half of those if she was competing, but no, she had kind of retired in 2016. 2016.
Okay.
So unfortunately, no. Um, yeah.
So
Otherwise,
you
like I said, about half of those because she would have won the other half.
so you're just out here being a trailblazer representing for the twins. Let's go.
Crushing it.
Let's
What
go.
if y'all got to this while I was off make how much are you competing throughout the year?
So this year, quite a bit. The last 3 years I was out in Nevada helping to build up an outdoor facility, and so I didn't get to compete as much as I would like to. But now I'm done with that project and diving back into competing. So, really
Awesome.
excited about that.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Now, obviously, this season rather, is exclusively for ladies. So I'm just gonna jump in and ask you some questions for the young female demographic who is exploring into venturing into shooting, whether it's competitive or other shooting sports like clay shooting or anything like that. What kind of tips would you give them? Because I know you said you come from a background like you've been hunting your whole life, but what about like maybe the young ladies who are just getting into the firearms and hobbies and becoming enthusiasts like that? What kind of tips would you give them?
I would say don't be afraid to dive in. A lot of people, especially women, think that they're the only ones out there that want to get into it, and that it's really difficult because it's a male dominated industry and things like that. But there's so many other women just like you out there that have either gone through the same path or are going through it. So don't be afraid to get into it because it's a really welcoming and wonderful community.
That's awesome. And it is. Rob and I have highlighted last season and a lot of this season about how all you have to do is step onto a range and say, I don't know what I'm doing. And before you know it, you'll be surrounded by people that are pouring into you. So go ahead, Breeze. It sounds like it looked like you
No,
want
no,
to say
I
something.
agree 100%. That was it. I was just
What
it's
would
amazing how it
what
works.
would you say to someone who not someone a young lady who's maybe just now getting into like three gun shooting and competitive shooting, like what are a couple tips that you would give now as a seasoned experience shooter, biathlete, and just all around trailblazer? What would you say to the, let's say, to maybe the younger girl, the 16-year-old or 18-year-old who has experience but maybe they're just getting started with it?
I would say if you're getting into shooting sports, don't run out and buy all the equipment. Just go to a match and let people just borrow their equipment. People are so, like you said, Kush, people will just, if you say you need help, people just
Yeah,
start giving you gear and things like that, and advice and things like that. So don't think you have to have all the latest and greatest gear and things like that to dive into it. Just go out there and get yourself to a match and either watch or jump in and let the amazing community around you help support you and help you figure out what you need.
that's awesome. That's awesome. And hold on, I gotta say this. You see the slight flex in the background, Breeze?
Uh, the slight flex. That's the and then
That's yeah, the Sochi flag in the back. That's fire.
yeah, that's amazing. But
Yeah. Wait, I mean, at least it
that,
looks like it says Sochi from back here.
like who put that back there?
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's amazing. It
So you
is.
do get to keep some of the stuff, like when you go, like
Well,
Well,
I have a really, really incredible banner collection from all the Olympics that I've been to. And let's just say it's permanently borrowed.
yeah, that's fair. It's like
But
that.
it's one of those things, all the Olympic athletes do it. So,
all everywhere.
because there's cameras everywhere
Yeah.
and just they kind of let the athletes do it. But
So
it's kind of a competition in of itself, is to see who can get the best banners from the Olympics as well.
now this is not as nearly as prestige as that, but
I think yeah.
Breezy and I last year we go to a lot of like influencer events. What we started doing is taking a lot of like the banners that say, oh, like
Range day.
yeah, range day, Iraq veteran. We took one, and what we were gonna do is at the end of the year post them all and say, "Where's your sign at?" So, but the influencer range days have slowed down. But yeah, that is so amazing.
Really is.
It is it's completely mind blowing, like how amazing you are and your talents. Like the Breeze. I don't know if you heard this, but she's an artist. She's like
Saw
legit
that.
bona
Did
fide.
a little show prep. I saw that in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how.
Lanny Warhol.
Not quite to cutting an ear off yet, but
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
that is amazing.
So Breeze, are you gonna play what you got or what?
I don't
let's
know.
hear it. I'm
Let's hear
excited.
it. Come on.
I really I was thinking about the last when Tess was on. I went kind of well. I'll just play it.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, you gotta
Yeah. I mean,
hold on.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Definitely. I love it.
I say that
That's
because
awesome.
it, I never know where it's gonna go. Like it's I would imagine with the art, you have some idea what you're gonna create and what it might, but it always changes. I hear something, and I think I know where it's going, but then I let the flow of it, and I let my ear. Like there was this, I played a song at the beginning, and it was like very happy and upbeat, and then the beat that I made out of it was like totally dark and
Yeah.
gloomy, and it just Kush is like, I
Yeah,
love.
that That was awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
It's kind of funny because
Yeah.
I don't typically like happy music, which is
Yeah.
strange. Give me the blues. Let me
Yeah.
what's going on?
Oh, the Eeyore vibes. Oh man.
So Lanny, before we wrap this up, where can people find you? Where can they follow you, what you're doing, and just stay tuned in with you.
Yeah, so people can hopefully find me on social media. I'm shadowbound just like everybody else, but Lanny Oakley, both on Instagram and Facebook. And I'm in the process of revamping my YouTube channel. And I got a website, lannyoakley.com, that people can find my courses coming up. I'm going to be teaching a lot of courses, and yeah, pretty excited about that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And man, I know we could dive deeper into this conversation, but I'm gonna button it up here
Too. Yeah.
because that gives us a reason to bring her back in a season or another season, 2 seasons away.
Yeah.
See what other amazing stuff she's done and dive a little deeper. But yeah, I want to say thank you so much for your time. We enjoyed having this conversation with you. I look forward to seeing you. You're gonna be at SHOT Show again, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
See you.
Well, for everybody who's tuned in, thank you for tuning in. You can, if in the age of technology, you're not watching this by some reason and just listening to the podcast, thanks for tuning in. We appreciate you, and subscribe to all our platforms. Have a good one. Hats off.
Thank you, guys.